Alright guys, welcome back to What Would They Listen To, where I talk about characters and what kind of music you'd find on their playlist. And today I'm going to be talking about Code Lyoko, so yeah, basically the Lyoko gang's playlist. What would that be like? Now, let's kick things off with, I guess you could say, let's go with Ulrich. Ulrich kind of strikes me as a, he strikes me as like a Stone Sour, Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, Korn kind of guy, like all that hard rock, heavy metal kind of stuff. He seems like he would be kind of just jamming out to that in the back of the car, or just wants to have is just kind of feeling emo, really, or if he really wants to feel really emo about it, he'll probably be listening to like Simple Plan and shit. Like has a fight with his dad, and then he's like listening to Perfect. Go cry, you bitch. Anyway, so that's it. So, a few things on his list. Maybe a little more. Maybe some Anthrax. Maybe some Metallica. Maybe something of that nature. Possibly. Yumi, on the other hand, Yumi strikes me as also kind of a heavy metal kind of person. She, maybe not as extreme as Ulrich in some cases, but I would imagine she would have some heavy stuff too, heavy stuff as well, and also some mixture of techno. She strikes me as a techno fan. I could see some techno on that character's playlist. There is a, I would imagine there would also be some. You know what? It's kind of funny. I kind of see Yumi as like a Nightwish fan. Don't ask me why, but I kind of see her rocking out to Nightwish. Maybe Everlast as well. Actually, yeah, that would make sense. So, there you go. Aelita, Aelita's a tough one. For some reason or another, she also strikes me as a fan of Nightwish, because the thing is that, and the reason why I say this is because, Aelita grew up on a lot of, if you guys remember in the original series, Aelita grew up listening to a lot of Viking-based tales. Hell, the ship they have is the Skidbladnir, which is from a story an old Viking Norse story. Her father told her as a kid. So for some reason, I feel like she would gravitate towards that kind of mysticism, that kind of fantasy type music. Just to make it feel like Aelita would go back to those days of learning about all those knights and heroes and all that kind of fantasy rock. Maybe also Elasian. Elasian is I guess you could say is like the Russian version of Evanescence. Lacuna Coil would also possibly be on her playlist. I would imagine. Yeah, Lacuna Coil would more than likely be on that would be on that list as well. Trying to think of what else. For some reason, she also strikes me as like a pop and techno, but like that would be introduced to her through Odd. Like she would be introduced to pop and techno, and stuff of that degree. Really, like that would be more new age stuff, like new wave. Yeah, new wave. Aelita strikes me as a new wave fan as well. Speaking of Odd, let's move on to a good old Odd. Now, what would be on Odd's list? I feel mostly techno. This guy, as you guys have seen his list, he's done a lot of DJing and stuff like that, so it would make sense that he would probably have stuff like Skrillex and Deadmau5 on his playlist. That would be a big case. I also see nothing too extreme in terms of rock, but maybe Panic at the Odd would definitely be a Panic at the Disco fan. There is no doubt in my mind that if Panic at the Disco was in the Code Lyoko universe, he'd be a #1 fan. Like, that just seems like his kind of version of rock, that kind of artistry, that kind of free, not free-spirited, but free kind of, free sound, and well as those odd lyrics. I feel like he would be very much into Panic at the Disco, as well as Fall Out Boy. Fall Out Boy would be another one for him. Yeah, Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco. Those would be his number. Those would be on his playlist most definitely. No question asked about that. Trying to think of what else he would listen to. Possibly some other bands. Oh, Simon Curtis. This dude, I would definitely listen to Simon Curtis. If you've never heard his music, you've probably heard like around in AM. It's a big thing around in AMVs. Superhero from Simon Curtis. You've probably heard that one in a lot of nightcore and music like that. So just to give you a heads up on that, a lot of his songs are big in the anime community for their AMVs. So there you go. And moving on now to finally Jeremy. What would Jeremy listen to? My. Jeremy. Nothing too heavy. That's the thing. Nothing too heavy. Maybe a lot of classical. I could see classical on his list. But I don't think that would be like the predominant thing on in his musical repertoire. I feel like he would have a good combination of I feel like a musical combination of like some 70s rock. Like for some reason or another, I could see him listening to Journey, like him and Aelita, like sharing one of those, sharing a headphone in each ear, and they're just rocking out to Carry On My Wayward Son. No, that's Kansas. Why did I say Journey? But yeah, Journey to Kansas as well. So classic rock. Like even the Steve Dillon band would also be on there. Clearwater Cadence Revival. I don't know why, but I feel like he would his dad seems like the kind of guy that would be the kind of dad that would rock out to a lot of classic stuff, and it would just worm its way in there. Also, I'm pretty goddamn sure Jeremy would be a big fan of Styx. Just saying, I have a weird feeling that he would be this big fan of Styx. I'm just saying. Anyway. So you guys tell me, what kind of music do you think the gang from Code Lyoko would listen to? And also, to make things interesting, because I can't really think of anything for the other supporting characters, what other characters like William and Sissy and a few other characters in the supporting cast for Code Lyoko, what do you think they would listen to as well? I can't really think of anything for them, but I'm really interested to see what you guys would come up for that. But anyway, once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I'm out.